Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the 19th hole. We are live on In Between Media. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the whole damn channel, and jingle that bell for notifications. It was a victorious weekend at the U.S. Open. Pinehurst #2 was good to us. Well, at least it was good to me because I had NorCal native, shout out, Bryson DeChambeau, with the win, his second U.S. Open title, and we're running right into another elevated event at the Travelers Championship in Cromwell, Connecticut. That's right, New England, defending champion, New England born, Keegan Bradley. We're going to talk about it after the jump. You know what we need, Connor, is one of those confetti graphics every time we hit an outright.
You know what else is wild? You and I are now, I believe, 3 for 3 on the U.S. Open since we've been doing this show.
Oh, is that good?
It's pretty good.
It seems good.
It's pretty good.
It seems good. So all of you out there that followed us into Bryson DeChambeau last week in your DFS lineups, you're welcome. And for all the 20-1 payouts that we're cashed out, you're welcome. We're running right into another elevated event. Connor, how you feeling? Are you feeling good, even though this was the one week you didn't like Bryson so much?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta take my L where I'm at. I mean, I think the thing that I did hit pretty nail on the head with Bryson is he did struggle to find the fairway.
His recovery game was the amazing part.
And I can't take anything away from him. I mean, he absolutely defied what I think are the odds. Like, he was getting up and down out of the native stuff, no problem. That shot on 18 to seal the deal.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
the degree of difficulty on a 55-yard bunker shot to how fast those greens are running. Good luck.
I don't like hang my mouth, like jaw drop very often. But when he hit that, I was like, yeah.
I was looking around. I was looking around like, did that just happen? Because Rory, I was certain we were headed for a playoff.
100%. I mean, dude, Rory, I mean, just choke of the century. I mean,
I got it.
No, I'm playing. I want to play.
I got to help Dee out with the link.
But yeah, I think one thing that's for sure is you and I have been huge Bryson fans this season. I think, you know, I didn't think it was the best fit for him last week. You wrote it out, and you know, props to you. I jumped off of him a week early, and I won't make the mistake again. Bryson's somebody who I've always kind of liked along the years, regardless of how quirky he's been. So it was really cool to see him win. And he's such a man of the people. I mean, he's staying late, signing autographs. Just taking the time to really appreciate the people that are supporting him. I mean, he's just turned into like this stellar
good dude. He's a good dude. He's likable all the way around. And guess what? That's a guy who gets it. He gets what his platform means to the sport. The sport is big. The sport is growing. And guess why it's big and it's growing? It's because of guys like Bryson DeChambeau who understand that their platform means a lot more than it did 2 years ago when he was kind of going through a lot of issues. And that was his prerogative to kind of find his own way in the sport and turn into a megastar. An absolute megastar. He was practicing fist bumps, celebrations after just barely losing in the PGA Championship to Xander Schauffele. He was gracious in defeat. He was gracious in victory. He stayed for 2.5 hours after his round on Sunday to sign autograph for kids, giving him strong messages that, hey, if you work hard, this could be you one day. That's what this is all about. This sport is for anybody and everybody who wants to play in anywhere in the world, from any walk of life. You could be disabled, you can be man, woman, doesn't matter. Like, golf is literally for anyone who wants to play, and Bryson is embracing all of that as a champion. the sport cannot do better with the U.S. Open. How good was Pinehurst as a venue?
Dude.
Oh my God, what a perfect venue!
And you know me, man. I'm not a big like carnage guy. We talk about it a lot.
But
Like that's more your
it
boat.
was pure carnage, but it was also fair.
It was like artistic carnage. Like if
Right.
that makes any sense. Like
It
it
was like
was,
Shakespearean carnage where like the blood is ribbons flying.
and it was like it wasn't like the carnage we see on some courses where it's just like almost disengaging you. Like even though it was carnage, it was so evenly like level across the field that
Mm-hmm.
everybody was kind of hitting the same shots. So it
Yeah.
was it was cool in a way to watch how different players dealt with the same type of like setup. And yeah, I
If
can't
you
wait to see
played
it
well,
back at
you played
Pinehurst.
well, and if you were off, they got massacred. Like the difference between Bryson and Rory and everybody else was humongous.
Well, what was ridiculous, dude, is Rory had an amazing week off the
He
tee. Like
did.
amazing.
And that
So
we
much
expected
so.
that. Like we were both on him for the same reason. Is he had everything lining up to do what he did, just didn't have enough at the end. And I don't even think it was a choke job. I just think that the whole golf karma thing came around at the wrong time for him, where he played so unbelievably well in the first 11 holes. Even you could say the first 15 holes, he played unbelievably like out of his gourd, and then Pinehurst took it back just at the the worst time, because other than the putt on 16, which was the most makeable thing, he just brain farted and pushed it. Uh, but the one on 18, that was a nasty putt. That was a very missable 3-foot putt straight downhill left to right. That was a low percentage make for even how short it was. So other than one putt on 16, you could say that Rory was just not quite good enough.
Yeah, I don't even know if I'd say that. I think he made a hell of a charge to get back, especially on that course.
Mm-hmm.
I think Bryson gave him enough of a window to come back. I just think in the end, Rory had a couple of hiccups and I got in his own head, and as
Oh yeah,
demonstrated by him fleeing the property. I mean, he's just
not a good look.
no, it's not a good look. And I'm a lifelong huge Rory fan, as everybody knows. And even I kind of like
Yeah,
as he was
yeah.
getting in his SUV. It's
And
just like,
then
dude,
the tearful message withdrawing from the Travelers this week. Perfect segue into another great event. The Travelers is the second most attended PGA Tour event behind the Waste Management Phoenix Open.
yep, that's
This is
crazy.
a party. It's a New England party central. It's a raucous crowd.
Well, and the thing to have
I'm
done
excited
for
for it.
Rory is get right back on the horse, man.
Show up and say,
Like,
laugh it off. Like, I know it's tough. Like, obviously everybody feels for you. Everybody was gutted for Rory, but it changed quickly. It's like we went from gutted to be like, really, dude? As soon as he peeled out of that driveway, didn't shake hands, didn't take any media time. Like that's baby back shit right there.
yeah, that's Bush for sure. Like, I don't know. He went down a peg for me a little bit on that. I don't care
Hmm.
previous politics of the tours and
This is a
etc.
pro Bryson DeChambeau show. Oh, I mean, it really has been for a long time, but
I'll tell you,
now it really is. We're going to be insufferable Bryson DeChambeau stands for the
if it,
foreseeable future. Shout out NorCal again.
if Bryson at the last few majors isn't making an incredibly strong case for integrating
Oh yeah,
Live, I mean, he's the most popular player on the planet right now.
and
How are you going to keep
it's
him out?
and guess what? He earned it. Earned it. Buy and sell use here. Royal Slade's agreeing with you already, man. That's early.
I got to stop clicking the buttons as you're clicking them.
click click happy. Are you drinking tonight?
I am actually. For reasons we won't go into. It's been a rough week at work, and a coworker of mine actually brought me a little thank you.
Hey, shout out Costco.
Dropped it on my porch this evening, and it couldn't have been better timing. And also, longtime viewers of the show will know that Barton 1792 Distillery is hands down one of mine and Bo's favorite distilleries. And
Elite. Barton
this
is elite.
is on par with the regular 1792 small batch. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty damn close.
And
So
that handle that you're holding, it's a 1 liter bottle, is like $22.
yeah, this is ridiculous. Like how good it is for that price.
I got the same one in my cabinet. You know that. It's been featured on the show before. So I have two drinks. My non-alcoholic choice is an Arnold Palmer from Arizona. Shout out to Arizona, keeping their prices low. On sale for 69 cents these days.
Who's sponsoring our 69-cent price?
Nice.
7-Eleven.
I don't care. Arnold Palmer, half and half iced tea lemonade, and of course, shout out to Kelly in Phoenix, our former co-host. She one of the last times she was here, having party with us, pizza party, taco party, burrito party, karaoke. She brought a bottle of Weller Special Reserve. That's the green label. Can't really find it in California. So if you get this juice in your state, Ohio and Texas get a ton of it. It's usually like $35-$40 a bottle. It's the flagship Weller. I'd like to read you on the back of the label. Would you allow me to read the back of the label?
Yes, please.
Yeah, that's smart. Shout out to Royal for that. W.L. Weller was born in Kentucky in the year 1825. After serving with the Louisville Brigade in the 1840s, Weller returned to Louisville to open his wholesale liquor business. He is reported to have used the slogan "honest whiskey at an honest price." His wheated recipe bourbon had a softer, smoother taste that became very popular. Pappy Van Winkle eventually merged Weller's namesake company with the A.P.H. Stitzel Distillery to form the Stitzel-Weller Distillery. This delicate bourbon with hints of caramel and honey honors one of America's first whiskey pioneers. I'm cracking it open.
That's another inexpensive bottle if you can find it that is hard to beat.
Right. The mash bill on this is outstanding. I believe it's the same mash bill as Buffalo Trace, which is honestly not surprising.
Yeah, I think if memory serves me, it's like a hair more wheated, so just a little sweeter, but
just a hair.
But it's man, they're both good bottles. And that Weller, I usually if I find it, it's around $25-$26.
Yeah. Yep. It is good. All right. What do you say we jump into TPC River Highlands after the break?
Yeah, I think we're going to agree on a lot. So
let's breeze through then. Yeah, that's a good jam. That's a bop.
Sometimes I shower to that. I'm not gonna lie to you. It gets me going.
You be careful, old man. Slipping in the shower is a leading cause of injury in senior citizens.
God, you want to talk about being old? So been setting up the pool the last couple of days, laying like a rock bed around it, doing some landscaping. I cannot feel my lower back, my shoulder, or my neck. It is tough getting old, dude.
I guess it's better to not feel it than feel what it's going to feel like once it unnumbs itself in a couple of days.
We're going to get a little more whiskey in me, see if we can
dull it.
Yeah, it does sound like the Bloodhound Gang.
It does. That's the same beat. So obviously Connor's theme song. Yeah, Connor's theme song is more I heard myself today.
Unreal. All right, let's do it like
TPC
they do on the
River Highlands. Yep.
All right, so Travelers,
baby sweat.
You know what, everybody, just hang out. We're not even going to go over golf tonight. We're just going to do karaoke to the Bloodhound Gang. Buckle up, kids. Travelers Championship, TPC River Highlands in Connecticut. It's a par 70, 6,841 yards. Fairway greens are bent in POA. It is a Pete Dye design. 8 par 4s measuring 450 to 500. 2 below 400, with number 15 being drivable at under 300. Fairways and most approaches, easy fairways and most approaches are going to be coming from about 175. And we'll see a lot of guys in that 1 to 125 range as well. It's an elevated event. So I think we got 71 players, no cut. I think 71 after Rory Woodrew. Is that right? Yeah.
And because it's elevated, they're not going to replace him, to my knowledge.
That's kind of what I was thinking as well. So I think this is going to be a bit of a birdie fest. Keegan kind of tore it up last year.
Sorry to interrupt, but I didn't even know that people could do this.
What is that?
She bought a super sticker for $20. Apparently, since we hit 1,000 subs, is we can do actual, like, people can pay us to feature their comments and answer questions. So I don't know if you want to put $1 in or $20, but I guess that's possible now. Shout out to Dee Dee from the Lake House.
Getting it going.
Super sticker. So Dee Dee, if you have any advice that you want to have on the side, since you're yeah, welcome to the 1K club. Yeah, she's funding us.
Dee Dee is OG too, I think.
Yeah, she is. She's a hell of a cook too. Some of the food she posts is outstanding.
Ain't that the truth? So nothing crazy about this course to kind of finish this up. It's a better field. I think it's going to be, again, like I said, a bit of a birdie fest this time around. Greens are fast, nothing like the last 4 to 6 weeks. Pete dies, so you got your awkward sight lines, normal trickery, kind of weird dog legs.
He's such a dirtbag. I love that guy.
Water is in play on 5 holes. There's about 70 bunkers on the property that come into play. Greens are a little tricky. They do have a couple of false fronts, false sides that kind of collect into runoff areas. So some tight lies, tricky up and downs if you're missing greens. But in reality, if you're missing greens, like, you're probably already out of contention anyway. This is definitely about accuracy and consistency. Some of the most correlated stats I found this week were total driving, which is distance plus accuracy, and then approach buckets, 150, 175, 125 to 150. And then actually strokes gained putting, it doesn't necessarily matter, but you can't lose strokes. So
yeah, you don't want to have a cold putter coming in here like Scottie Scheffler.
Weather shouldn't be much of a problem. We're going to have some gusts 10 to 15 miles per hour, but nothing sustained there. Probably 5 to 10 is going to be the norm. It's going to be hot, but we should have intermittent rain throughout the course. So
hot with tight lies.
That's all I know.
And no, there is not an alternate event this week. This is elevated or bust. Otherwise, it's a week off for the unfortunate few who did not make the cut. Or if you're Højgaard and one other guy, I believe they're taking the week off.
Doesn't mean go nuts on betting this tournament, though. I would definitely say it's
be moderately conservative.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were tailing us with Bryson DeChambeau and some others last week, then you might have a little more bankroll to play with. So,
or if you won all your head-to-head DFS matches like I did.
That was a close one, man. We'll talk about that a little later on DFS, but that was a barn burner. We both had good weeks. We both had really good weeks.
You had me sweating.
All right, let's bet on golf. You ready, Connor?
Born.
Twirl the clubs. Let's go to Cromwell. So Brad, Chad, and Thad are ready to bet on some golf and win with us again. Unfortunately for the cart girls, they do not look like good tippers.
I mean, they look like they got some serious Coles cash, though.
They got Coles cash, but they are poor tippers just by the look of them. So I don't think the cart girls come around more than every 8 holes for those guys.
Those guys are probably friends with Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins doesn't even associate with those guys. He's too cool for even them. All right. Top of the board, plus 360, Scottie Scheffler. Shaved his beard, got the fresh fade, terrible tan line. Lost, 4 strokes putting last week? Woof. Are we doing the live betting thing again this week? I think it warrants some consideration. I'm definitely not popping him at plus 360. That's just massacre city. Bad betting, bad strategy, bad bankroll management. Betting him right now when he's coming off a shit performance.
I mean, obviously, I'm not going to tell you that I'm not going to watch the live number, but I'm not anticipating betting him. I think he just looked like he wasn't in it last week. And I think that there's going to be a little bit of continuation of that. And there are guys in this field that are going to smell the blood in the water. I mean, there's a
It's
lot of guys right here.
elevated field, man. All these sharks are good, and they're playing well.
I know that's a bold take, but I'm guessing that I don't end up with a live bet even on Scottie by the end of the weekend.
It's going to take a really good one for me, like a really nice window of opportunity, which we've only gotten a couple times this year. Even when Scottie's won, he hasn't given us too many chances to pop a good number. Like we obviously won at plus 1100 one time, which was great.
Yeah, that was a good one.
But other than that, it's like just sit on him, and obviously if it's like a couple weeks ago where you just have to tip your cap because he goes wire to wire and you just have no chance, that's gonna happen. That's why you manage your bankroll for when Scottie Scheffler gets hot, and nobody's gonna beat him at that rate. But right now he's not playing well. He's been spraying the ball all over the place off the tee, and his putting is back to where he can read a greens. Like he was out there like Helen Keller reading greens at Pinehurst. It was ugly. His putting stroke's fine. It's just he doesn't know where the ball's going.
I think it was unique to Pinehurst. I think he bounces back here. I think we're gonna have a little lull with Scottie for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's gonna cool off a smidge. Like I said, I wasn't as concerned with the state of the game as I was with the state of.
He's more of a spring champion. He's not so much a summer.
His demeanor just kind of like he looked like he was dragging his ass around the court.
He's not a summer. That's all.
I don't know.
He has 0 career wins after May.
Interesting. I don't think I knew that stat, but
no, he's not. He's never won in summertime. Like never. All of his wins have been in April. April up until this year, he hadn't even won after April.
He's probably going to win, so we'll just have to take that.
Shut up. Don't even put that in the universe. Are you playing Xander at plus 750? I don't like that one either. Even though Xander is a really good fit for this golf course, I think his number's too short. I might do a little peeking on the Xander number if he's making enough birdies, because you're going to need some on this course.
I think I'm going to grab the Xander number, to be honest. I know it's short, but my concern with Xander is Xander can start hot and usually does start hot. Yeah. And so I don't know that we're going to
live first round leader bet for sure.
And I don't know if we're going to get a better live number. And so plus 750 actually doesn't sound that bad. I mean, Xander's got pretty good course history here. He's in arguably just as good a form as even, Scottie, Ludwig.
It's true.
So I don't know. I kind of lean that way. Like I think Xander's got a real shot at winning this. This makes a ton of sense for him.
You said my favorite already, and I'm just gonna skip on when the guys that you've been fading for like a 1 week little bump.
I'm on Ludwig this week.
Okay, good. I was gonna say if you're off Ludwig this week, then I have no hope for you at all, because Ludwig is my favorite pick. He's got the best line for me among the favorites, other than Cantlay, who really impressed me last week. His swing change really made a big dent for fourth place at Pinehurst. He's like, we're talking ownership at the Travelers. Patrick Cantlay is a top 5 machine at this golf course and has won here before. But Ludwig Oberg, first time at this tournament, we're talking, you need to be straight off the tee? Check. You got to be good on approach? Check. You have to have an adequate short game and a hot putter? Check, check, check. Ludwig Oberg, I think, should win this tournament and has all the firepower to win at plus 1,400. That's an incredible number for a guy with his talent. We love Dee Dee. She's so supportive.
Yeah, I think the thing about Oberg is he's course proof. Like we've had people like kind of question, it's his first time at the Masters. It's his first time at the US Open. It's his first time.
When will the excuses end?
He just shows up. Mm-hmm. So I kind of said, and I wrote him up again this week, as I'm sure you did, and I'm going to be on him for the foreseeable future. Like I'm going to take some losses, but over the course of his career, he's going to make us a lot of money. So,
Yep.
I mean, yeah, I'm not jumping off of Ludwig anytime soon.
And look, I mean, it's plus 1,400 outright, but plus 300 top 5 lock city.
So somebody you skipped right over, and this is usually one of your guys,
Colin.
Yeah. So Morikawa, I don't think is getting talked about enough this week. And I think it's because of the course history narrative, and he has kind of shit course history here. Mm-hmm. But if you look at what he's done over the last 7 starts, I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. The worst finish he's got is 16th. He's also got a 3rd at the Masters, a solo 2nd at the Memorial, 2 4th places.
Oh,
And
he's
I mean,
good.
last week at Pinehurst, he was one of the guys that really kind of kept it together all 4 rounds. He finished in 14th, but that's a lot closer than that placement would indicate. I mean, he's right there.
If he can make enough birdies. That's the only trepidation I have with Colin is birdie making. Birdie or better percentage for him, and the short yardage approach buckets that we're looking at, 125 to 175, that's kind of the weak spot in his game. If we're talking long iron approaches, absolutely get Colin fired up because he's owning those types of golf courses. I think that this is directional golf, which he is good enough to contend here. I just question if he's a minus 25 guy that this course is going to relinquish.
I kind of thought the same, and when I looked at like longer spans of time with him, I would say that that's more typical of him. Is it's like a mid-teens, mid-high teens type of finish. But what's interesting is over the last 24, and it gets even better when you look at the last 12, he's actually second in this field for birdie or better rate.
He's fourth on mine. Yeah.
But he rates out in the top 10 for both approach proximities in the near term.
Mm-hmm.
And he's number 6 in par 4 scoring on 450 to 500 yard par 4s, which 8 of the 12 of these are. So I think that he's got good form, better than maybe last year coming into this. And I just like the player profile. So I know I'm in the minority. Not a lot of people are talking about him this week, but I really think he's going overlooked.
Are you sure that 8 of the 12 are 450 to 500? Because I have the bucket at 4 to 450, in which case he is 59th.
I've got it 450 to 500, some of the lengthening and renovations that they've done. So,
okay.
So I think
I'll throw them both in there then, because obviously with the longer par fours, we know that he's outstanding.
So I don't know. I know I'm in the minority, like I said, but I think he's primed.
Yeah. Okay. And it's definitely a good number. 12. Any double digits on a favorite is good. Victor Hovland, I don't feel as great about him as I do Cantlay, who's a horse for this course. Patrick Cantlay at this course, ownership, plus 400 top 5, lock it in. Plus 2,000 outright. I'm thinking about how aggressive I want to go there because that's such a great number. Top 10 plus 190. You're getting plus odds on a guy who's literally never, ever in 8 tries here finished outside the top 10 at the Travelers. Patrick Cantlay, you can do the trifecta if you want to because that's a strong play. And then after that, I drop down quite a ways until I get to another guy I like.
Sorry, I was responding to Royal, but Royal was asking if we can start going over top 5, top 10 parlay strategies on future shows, and the answer is absolutely. We will. Yes. We'll start working that in moving forward. That's easy.
Yeah,
easy.
And what I tend to do is, even if I'm not thinking about it right now, like on a Tuesday, is by the time Thursday rolls around, if I feel strongly about a couple players, 2 or 3 or even 4 players that their lines are just too soft, that's usually what I parlay placement bets on, are 3 guys that are just handicapped poorly that I feel strongly about. Like last week, I did parlay Bryson and Rory top 5, which paid off big time. That's just two guys that I felt were mispriced. And again, in these types of events where Scottie Scheffler is here, you're going to get a lot of soft prices because of him being here. That's just how it rolls. And so you just hope and pray that Scottie doesn't come with his A game, because then it's all over at that point. That is a great question, though. DD agrees. Anybody in that next tier down? Because I'm dropping down to 50 after Cantlay.
Did you talk? So you don't have any interest in Finau this week?
No. At 30, I don't. Next week for sure. The Rocket Mortgage is Tony Finau's playground. I think if he was at 35-40, I would be a little bit more interested. His top 10 number at plus 260 is a little bit intriguing because that's a strong play. I don't think Tony has the game to win this tournament, but he's definitely going to be there at the top.
He's playing really good golf. I'll probably take a stab at him. Sam Burns is the other guy I like at 30. I liked Sam Burns last week. He showed up even last week. I didn't make a lot of noise, but continued to play good golf. I think I think again, the problem that I've had with Burns is I've been betting him and playing him in DFS is I just need 4 solid rounds out of him. Like at the US Open, 2 rounds of 67, 2 rounds of 73, just, didn't get it done. So,
all right. I have a very important question to ask you. It's been bugging me since I ran my model yesterday. Number 1 in my model is a guy that we've been begging to play better this year. He fits this golf course perfectly. He's one of the friends of the show. His number started at 35 to 1. It slipped to 40 to 1. What the hell are we doing, Justin Thomas? He should do really well here, right?
He just cannot putt, and not even like Justin Thomas style can't putt.
Can't make anything.
Putt.
Yeah, he's like Corey Connors putting right now.
He's worse than Corey Connors over the last 24.
Yeah, that's not good.
I don't know, man. I am such a Justin Thomas truther, but I just can't keep blowing money on him.
Yeah,
I'm probably gonna miss it. I'll be there cheering, but I
think I'm gonna throw $10 on it just in case. I just got this weird feeling yesterday when he popped up at number 1, and I was just like, number 1, Justin Thomas. Oh my god! I'm ready to get hurt again.
I'm with you. I just, like I said, I'll be there cheering louder than probably anybody, but I'm not going to be winning on him if it happens this week.
All right. And a guy who opened at 50 to 1 and has slipped to 60 to 1. We're talking about short approach buckets. We're talking about short game. Akshay Bhatia. What do you think? It seems like an Akshay course. This is a lot like the Valero Texas Open. Am I right?
Yeah, I think what gets me more on Akshay is some of the wedge approaches and some of the odd shot shaping that you need here.
Uh-huh.
His accuracy and consistency right now is scaring me a little bit, but I think it's I think it's a decent enough number to gamble on him. So
the bomb and gouge strategy has worked here over the last few years because what DJ did to this place a few years ago in the COVID year just annihilated this place. And that's why they did their renovations, tighten the fairway landing areas, lengthen the rough. It was to prevent guys like Akshay who can bomb it out there 325 and then flip a wedge into 6 feet. And I mean, that's the game that Akshay plays on these types of courses where it's no mystery. This guy's so good at golf. He just has a very specific type of course where he can be dominant. This is that type of golf course. And 60 to 1 to me is the craziest thing I've seen.
Yeah, I'm not going to fight you on it. I'm on the fence. I think I'm looking more at a placement number, the plus 450 top 10 is a little more enticing. I just don't know. I don't know if he can take down some of these big guys at the top.
I think he can.
We'll see. I mean, he's one of our favorite guys moving forward.
He's a prodigy.
He's a hell of a player. Not taking
it's the future of gaming.
How'd he see me? High score. Did I break it?
Is that bad?
So yeah, I don't know. I'm probably more of a placement bet on Akshay this week, which probably will bite me in the ass too.
Royal wants us to talk about his favorite Maple Leaf here, the Olympian Corey Connors. Rates out well here. The putting doesn't really matter here as much. You can't lose strokes putting, which kind of worries me because he's 52nd in putting. He is almost dead fucking last in around the green, which does mean something here. If his ball striking holds up, which it has all year, number 1 off the tee in this field, number 1 overall ball striking in this field, number 4 tee to green, number 4 on approach. All those metrics point to a Corey Connors week. But in a field this strong, I don't know.
Love the approach game. You gotta pretty much decide that putting doesn't matter at all this week to bet Connors on the outright. I don't know. The approach game is stellar. He rates out super well. He actually has okay course history here. He's got a T9. He does have a missed cut, but that was a few years back. So it's in good form. Great approach. Like I said, I'll
level with Royal. Corey Connors is an outstanding DFS play this week.
Yeah, that's probably more where I'm trending. I just, in that 30 range, like I said, I like Finau better. I like Burns better. I like Russell Henley better. I mean, if you're looking for somebody in that 30 to 40, that I just like a lot of guys better.
All right. Any deep shots? Let's see. Who did I have? Oh,
Michael Bjornbjornsson.
Yes, we're gonna talk about him. Do you have anybody before him? I think I wanted to take a stab at where'd he go? Yeah, I guess I lost him.
We'll talk about Mikey Thorne a little bit here quick, so I'll just spit my other one out, which is Ben Griffin at plus 130 or plus plus 13,000 rather, 130 to 1.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, Ben Griffin, decent play. I mean, maybe a placement. Top 20 bets, nice and solid on him if you can get it. Decent price on it. Michael Thorbjornsen, rookie, first making his PGA Tour debut. He is a PGA Tour card holder because he finished first in PGAU, just like Ludwig Oberg. And Thorbjornsen, Stanford, right? Stanford?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
Number one NCAA golfer this year, earned his PGA Tour card over Christo Lamprecht, who's going to be dominating the Corn Ferry Tour for a while before he gets his card. Michael Thorbjornsen could win this tournament. He's that good.
Yeah, he can, and he's actually played here twice too. I think he's got 2 finishes. One is a 4th, and I think it was like 5 years ago. And then the other one, I can't, for whatever reason, it's not pulling up on Fantasy National right now, but I think his other more recent one was a 19th.
Yeah.
At this tournament.
Good. So, he's good.
And that was before PGA University, before getting his card. So
here's what we have to say is we are usually the first ones to throw money on these very non-household names. This is no exception. Michael Thorbjornsen is a phenomenal golfer, and he's not going to be daunted by this tournament. And what we're looking for is guys who can make a lot of birdies on a course that is going to give you chances to make birdies. And Michael Thorbjornsen made so many birdies last year at Stanford. Like, I'm looking at the numbers right now. His scoring average is stupid. It's just insane.
Well, in his 2 starts here in particular too, like his overall like strokes gained tee to green, he averaged like 11.2 strokes. I mean, this guy is a ridiculous golfer, and plus 250 or plus 25,000 is it's got to be a misprice. I mean, he's down here with like, Cam Davis, who hasn't even gotten out of bed correctly this year, and then you got Peter Malnati, Chris Gotterup. I mean, he's a class above these guys, and plus 1,200 on a top 10. I mean,
so I when I did the Betting Pros podcast yesterday, he was at 150 to 1. He slipped 100 points, and I'm licking my chops right now because 250 to 1 on that guy that's a no-brainer bet.
And his price is stupid on DFS too. Like he's Yep,
Let's get into that DFS. Let's get into that DFS because I'm excited because I think DraftKings is going to pay us a lot of money this week. I get this weird feeling that we're gonna hammer the lobbies this week.
Five-figure hit coming this way.
5. All right, trunk slams. Neither one of us slammed our trunks. Somebody had to win and somebody had to lose. Unfortunately for me, Connor edged me out last week. Let's talk about it.
The club is wet. This would be a wrestling slam.
It was a banner week for us last week. Neither one of us did poorly. I had Bryson DeChambeau in my lineup. I had all sorts of great guys at the top of my lineup, including, I think I had Rory too, didn't I? We both had Rory. Yep. I had Bryson, but I had a 5 out of 6 lineup, and Connor had a 6 out of 6 lineup in our head-to-head and won by 12 points. I hate you.
And I had Oberg and Rory, and after the first couple of days, I thought I was gonna just kind of take it running away, and then Oberg kind of slipped, and Bryson picked it up, and there we were.
It was a butt clencher. It came down to the wire.
No, it was a good one. It was fun. I think it goes to say that like you and I had all the right players in the pool. I mean, our builds were all really, really good.
The pool was incredible.
No, I was happy. I was happy. I could have taken a little more money, but we'll get some more this week.
So Scottie Scheffler, pretty chalky. Pretty chalky. Not going to lie. I don't like how much chalk Scottie's getting this week.
It's that price, that 12.5. It's the cheapest he's been in a while.
Yeah, he earned it. 43rd on this field putting. Not great. 25th and around the green, 31st in the short approach bucket. He is human when there's a wedge in his hand, which is interesting, right? You would think best iron player in the world would be elite in every bucket. He's not. He's middle of the pack with the pitching wedge. 12th overall in approach by my model. I mean, he's still 5th in my model. You can't just say, don't play Scottie Scheffler. Like, you should still play him. But I think limiting your exposure to him this week is smart.
Yeah, it's a tough call up top because you got Scottie at projected 20.5. You got Xander at 22.1. You got Oberg at 20.4. Morikawa at 19.7. Cantlay at 19.3. Like, they're all just like neck and neck. So it almost feels like a week where you kind of pick your poison and take your stand. Like, whoever you think is going to win out of that group, that's who I would roster.
And pray. Yeah, let's see.
For me, it's going to be Morikawa. I'm going to take the price savings. I'm going to try and do a lot of Oberg Morikawa stacks. But it does get a little dicey. Like, it's a little more of a gamble at the bottom. Benefit, you're getting 4 rounds out of everybody, but you still need all 6 of your guys to score. So
I think I'm going to get a little frisky with like a bunch of 9s. Like, I'm going to do some Cantlay Morikawa Burns. I'm going to do some Finau.
Yep, Finau.
Keegan is 20%, but I think I'll probably match the field there. Because, I mean, obviously, this is a rabid fan base, and he won this thing last year just right in the wave of fanship. He's playing great this year, especially the last month and a half. Keegan Bradley's live here. We didn't talk about him on the betting side, around 50-1. I think that Keegan is fine as a bet, but he's a better DFS play because I think that 20% is going to kind of slip because of the guys around him in pricing as we get more casuals in the field. Justin Thomas leverage 7.1% at 8,500. I am all over that.
I think the reason I'm all over it has nothing to do with Justin Thomas, and everything to do with the fact that we get 4 rounds.
I know, but isn't that great? Because that's the leverage play with upside, a good course fit. Everything points to Justin Thomas flipping his fortunes around, just like Patrick Cantlay did last week.
But riddle me this in DFS. Mm-hmm. If you're going to go Justin Thomas at 8,500 at 7.3%, why wouldn't you just go Jordan Spieth at 8,200 at 4.2%?
I'll do both. You can't stop me.
You can't tell me what to do.
You're not the boss of me.
But that's kind of my mentality too, is like, I'm looking at JT and I'm looking at Jordan Spieth, and I think those are the 2 guys that I am going to use to get leverage. Like, anytime that I get those 2 guys in a 4-round format, they have the upside to score enough points, even if their placement kind of sucks.
Right.
So
going down the board here, lots of chalk on Tom Kim. I don't get that. I don't get it. Do you get it?
I don't get it.
All right. Easy fade. Matt Fitzpatrick, no chalk, maybe a decent leverage point, but not his type of golf course. We're looking for lots of birdies. He's not typically a birdie guy. He's a grinder, right?
Yeah, I like Fitz on a different course. I mean, at 8K, the nice thing is you always got to kind of change your mindset. We don't need him to win, but we do need him to score decent points. I mean, I need him to be somewhere in that 15 to. If I think the winning score is 22 to 23, I need Fitz somewhere around 15 to 18. And I don't know. I'm pretty sketchy on whether he can get there.
So there are some birdie makers in this next tier that are not getting any love. One of them I understand because Max Homa has played awful at this golf course. He's missed 4 cuts at this golf course, and he's only coming at 3.2% owned projection. I might skip Max Homa just because I don't really want to play him in a course where he's not really playing. He just has no chance right now, and his game's out of sorts. But I am looking at a trio of birdie-making machines that are leveraged Wyndham Clark, Ben On, and Cam Young. For DFS for them to be combined 15% owned. That for me is a nice pool builder because I can sprinkle those guys into a bunch of different lineups and get all sorts of leverage.
So Cam Young for me, I think
2%.
it's actually going to be one of my highest rostered guys.
Exactly, 2%.
And here's why. We get guaranteed 4 rounds. Cam Young's approach game and off the tee game actually have been pretty stellar. Cam Young is fully capable of being flat or gaining just a few strokes on the green. If Cam Young does everything that he can do,
burn this place down.
Yeah, Cam Young will go away with it.
Mm-hmm.
So the nice thing about Cam Young this week versus other weeks is I don't have to worry about him making the cut. Like the reason I'm off him so often is because
implode.
I don't know if he's going to make the cut. So if you fancy a gamble, Cam Young at 7,600 is a massive upside play.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of, like, you can eat some chalk at the top because you're going to have to. Like you mentioned all the guys that are 20% plus. It's these leverage points in the mid and the value portions that are going to be so fruitful. That's why I'm so excited for this week, because there's so many great leverage points in DFS that we can take advantage of no matter who we go with at the top.
Yeah, couldn't agree with you more. So, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm not much in on Wyndham Clark. I'm not much in on Ben On, but I love it. I love the leverage spot with Cam Young at the 7,600. I dropped down a little bit, and I've got a lot of interest in JT Poston. Surprisingly, has a great birdie or better rate over the last 24 rounds. Taylor Pendrith is another guy that reminds me a lot of Cam Young, where like if
we get 4 rounds,
you get 4 rounds, a guy
scares me. If there's a 36-hole cut, Taylor Pendrith scares me.
And then Akshay is right there too. So,
and Willie Z at 7,100 at 1.4%. Is he playing?
I'm leaning towards he might not be. Like somebody must know something.
Because at that price and his ability to catch fire, I think he might have already withdrawn, and we didn't see it.
Well, and for Harris English above him to be projected at somewhere between 7.5 to 10.5 rostership, I mean that's absurd.
He won a couple of years ago here, so that makes sense.
Yeah, he also didn't he make the Olympic team last time around? What's he done lately?
Right, nothing.
But yeah, so I like Willie Z. If I had to pick one of the 3 that I mentioned, JT, Pendrith, or Akshay, I'm going to play all of them, but I probably gamble more on the Pendrith upside. He makes more birdies than the other 2 typically. Mm-hmm. Poston's probably a close second, followed by Akshay and DFS. And then for me, it's Willie Z, Thomas Dietrich, and Tom Hoagie in that lower 7.
Whoa. The Hoagie. 8% Hoagie. I don't think I can do it. Dietrich for sure. Dietrich, my God, what he's playing on fire.
You can't be hating on Hoagie, dude. Hoagie's having a good season, and we get a guaranteed 4 rounds.
Yeah. He might be the only guy that putts worse than JT right now.
Okay.
I mean, you got to hand that to me. It's true.
It's rough.
It's not good.
It's not the best look.
Kitayama 66, Nick Dunlap 66, 2 guys that we don't typically go with on scoring golf courses, but our guy from Stanford, shout out NorCal, Michael Thorbjornsen 6,500, only 3% projected rostership. That's money.
Yeah, I'm gonna have probably a
heaping help load,
an inappropriate amount of Thorbjornsen,
a negligent. It will be completely off the rails exposure to the rookie making his PGA Tour debut.
Other guys that are a little more tour tried and trusted here in that same range. Don't get me wrong.
Emiliano
Thorbjornsen is my favorite of them, but Seamus Power is playing really good golf, 6,500, 4 guaranteed rounds. Again, not to belabor it. And then Lee Hodges, who's been kind of like in that Hoagie mode where we've just had like really kind of bizarre good golf out of them.
Hey, sometimes you get locked into Hoagie mode when you're really hungry.
I'm a little hungry right now.
Hoagie mode.
But yeah, those are kind of the guys I like in there. I'm going to dabble in some Putnam. Putnam rated out really well. He's having a good season.
Emiliano Grillo, 6,300. What the hell?
You want to talk about guys that can't putt?
It's true, but Grillo is a ball striker, iron extraordinaire. I love him.
How about Hoagie Grillo head to head?
Let's do it. Hoagie's 28th in my model. Grillo's 18th. So yeah, it's a shit putt off. Grillo's 71st in putting. Hoagie actually 50. Ooh, yeah, okay. Hoagie's doing something. I think you're onto something with Hoagie there, but I'll take the bait. I just had to look. I did a double take. Hoagie's weakness is around the green and wedge game, apparently, in my model. So we'll see. I like Grillo a lot this week, though, so that's going to be another one of my value, pretty irresponsible exposure.
I got one more guy down there before we get into our picks and our.
Is it the Todd father?
And the hat. The hat has a say. No, it's Jake Knapp, actually.
Bomb and gouge, let's go.
Playing kind of abysmal golf the last few times he's teed it up.
It's been shaky at best.
But we got little wider fairways, which is going to help him. And the other thing, too, is like his short iron game, even as bad as he's been playing, he still rates out 7th in my model from 125 to 150, which is a lot of Knapp's approach shots this week.
The big siesta.
So I don't know. I don't hate him. 4 guaranteed rounds, 6,100. He's, he can score a little bit. So if you're really stacking top heavy, I think you can do worse than Jake Knapp down here.
Especially, yeah, since we're going to need some birdies and he can catch fire. We saw him do it. We've seen him do it.
That's about it, though, for me down here.
Yep, same. All right. Who's going to win this thing? And winning score?
I'm going to say it's Oberg, and I'm going to say it's 22.
I also say Oberg and 24.
I like it. First round leader. Xander, I'm with you. Lockstep.
Bring out the hat. Hat. La gorra. El sombrero.
Well, we drew 2 numbers, so I'll blindly take one.
Something in your eye there? The pirate.
Number 17 in your model. Number 1 in your heart this week.
17, Siwoo Kim.
For me, it is none other than Tom Hoagie.
The Hoagie mode.
Well, the hat spent some time on my head, so maybe it absorbed some nonsense. I don't know.
Or just wants a sandwich.
That's
right. Yes, Connor. All right. From Conor Coughlin, I am Bo McBrayer. This has been the 19th hole. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the whole damn channel, jingle the bell for notifications, in between media, sports, lifestyle, everything in between. Join us next week for the Tony Finau Classic. The Rocket Mortgage Classic from Detroit City. Thank you. Oh, I gotta hit the outro.